Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video over here on the global side of the game, taking a look at the new KIZUNA Clash Pirate Alliance against the boy Calamity Jax. So, in today's video, we will be going through some teams to take on the new KIZUNA Clash over on the global side against Jack. I do have a free-to-play team for you guys for each variation. I do have a big damage team, as always, for each variation, and then I have one team completes all. So if you guys are looking for like a one team completes all, I do have one that uses Kinemon, and then I'm going to talk about if you have Toki as well, and then one that doesn't use Toki or Kinemon as well. But let's take a quick look at the information here. Let's take a look at what Jack's all about. So on the 19th of November, going to the 23rd, so it should be like just less than a day from when this video goes live, Jack will be coming as a KIZUNA Clash free-to-play character. He does have a super evolution as well, so Get yourself ready, boys, because you're going to be trying to get some of those skulls. But I'm going to give you a little 4-1-1 on how to do that nice and easily. The character exclusive skulls will be in box 6 and 7. Sabo, the DEX Sabo, is getting his super evolution. If you guys don't know what that Sabo does, he's very, very good. He gets like a side grade, so ideally you want to have 2. So hopefully you have a spare Sabo there, but I would highly recommend Super Evolving him, because his Super Evolution is just much better. He becomes an attack booster. He gets that Ignite ability that Verse Ace and Akainu has, and he becomes a Chain booster as well. He works amazingly under Verse Ace, basically. Olin will also be getting the character because of the sync. We are getting a bunch of extra characters. We're getting the Jack, we're getting Olin, we're getting Rebecca, and with Olin, she has a 5+2. Now, this Olin is one of the best free-to-play characters in the entire game. So, ideally, you want to actually get her done. The beautiful thing is her limit breaking materials will be in from box 1 to 5. It doesn't state where her... Oh, yeah, sorry. Her skulls will also be in box 6 to 7 as well. So, ideally, you do want to Super Evolve her. She does 6 turns of damage reduction, 6 turns of Special Bind, 3 turns of a 2x attack boosted powerhouse driven and int characters, and she rotates all block orbs into Samler slots. Her and the Onigashima Luffy from Treasure Map are easily 2 of the best free-to-play characters going around. So hopefully you got to the 1,000,000 points on Treasure Map, and hopefully you guys can get this Olin, because she's very, very good. Rebecca, not as good as the other 2. Jack's really good too. He removes paralysis, he removes attack down. His 3 turns of color affinity, powerhouse and driven and strength characters. Very good unit, so make sure to get him done as well. The Rebecca, not so great, but look, you're going to get her along the way, so hunky-dory, right? There's a bunch of Alliance missions as well, as it is a Pirate Alliance KIZUNA, as always. There is no Super Boss, so don't stress about that. Now, the idea with these as well, you do have a bunch of powered-up characters. The idea is you'd always want to bring a character as a friend captain that gives you the most tickets. And in this case, the Toki and the Kinemon are those characters. And then, as you can see here, pretty much all of the Halloween characters and Wano characters and all that sort of stuff, they're all boosted. Obviously the KIZUNA rare recruits, all that sort of stuff's boosted as well. Who's Who, Yamato, Ulti Page 1, all those characters, Fire Tank Pirates, Ace Sabo, they're all boosted. So they're going to get stats, which is great. But the Toki, Momo, Hiyori, as well as the rare recruit Kinemon are going to give you more tickets. So that's basically the gist of it. Now, if you guys are struggling with KIZUNA, there is a strat that a lot of the boys like to use. It's called the Suicide Strat. You guys don't know what the Suicide Strat is? Your boy Stump is going to break it down for you. But, big shout out to my boy Papi. Never doubt the captain. Never doubt the captain. He's the one that sort of advocates this. I do know a lot of people use it, but I was talking to my boy Papi the other day, and he was the one that sort of filled me in on the crux of it. Basically, what you want to do is head into the event with as many point boosters as possible. As many characters that can give you more ticket drops. You head in, you leave, you die, you request assists, and then your friends come to save you. Every 15 minutes, you can do an assistant quest. If you stay up on those assistance quests, if you do around 35 to 50 assistance quests with no boosters, and you stay on top of your suicides, you should be able to get this free-to-play character Super Awakened without any of the boosters. Now, obviously, Stump, up to 50 runs on KIZUNA can be pretty grindy, but it is assistance quests. Like, it's what you have to do to get these characters anyway. Don't whinge about playing the game. But for those of you that are whinging about, oh, I had to summon for Toki, I have to summon for Kinemon, New Year's is around the corner, you don't. You don't need the boosted characters. It just takes a little bit longer. It takes a little bit more grinding power. So, if you need to, don't be afraid to use the Suicide Strat if you are missing boosters, but don't stress. Your boy Stump's got some teams for you that is going to help you out. And with that said, let's dive in. Alright, so big shout out to Frankie House, or Pyro Man, as always, with the beautiful, beautiful infographics. I love the way he does these. So, we are going to talk about the strength variation first. On stage 1, you get strength, quick, and Sire characters cooldowns by 15 turns. On stage 2, you come up against King, who puts up 4 turns of defense up, and after turn 1 gives 3 turns of burn. On stage 3, you come up against Jack, who has full immunity, defeat immunity, grey shield, and normal attacks for 99 turns. He gives you 5 turns of paralysis and a full board of block orbs. If you use a slot boost, he will super bluff clear your crew. After turn 1, he stuns. Turn 3, he blows away 2 random units. And then after level 30, he gives 15 turns of special bind to your right hand side. After turn 5, Jack will transform back into his human form, take out his phone, shows you the treasure map ranking, and sees the despair in your eyes, with your ended up rank being 90.01%. The next thing you feel is the crushing force of his phone on your head and instant death damage. Big shout out to Pyro Man for that. I love your quirkiness, man. Keep being you, man, because you're an absolute gem. So, the first team I do have is a free-to-play team. It looks a little bit like this. We are using the Kuja Pirates as our captain. They are very, very good, mainly because they boost free spirit and shooter characters by 3.75. Now, all of these teams you are going to see all use Toki as a friend captain, so just be mindful of that. The Toki, Momo, and Hiyori are very, very good. So, the free-to-play Kuja, really, really good unit. They can give you a conditional boost. They can also get around the defense up. But to get around the defense up on turn 2, we have the Sea Monster. They're very, very good. Now, on turn 2, you need to make sure you use your Momo, Hiyori, and Toki special. And always, 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 always use it on your captains. No ifs, no buts, no coconuts. Always use it on your captains. That way you won't stuff it up. Just always use it on your captains. And make sure that you put the teams in the same spots that you see them for every team moving forward. It may or may not matter, but for some of them teams, it really does matter. So just be mindful of that. This KIZUNA Katakuri is a weapon. He is the GOAT for this fight and this free-to-play team. Because not only does he remove the paralysis, he gives you block or manipulation, and he gives you chain lock, which is really, really nice. On the final turn, you use his special, have him on the left-hand side to avoid the special blind, and then you can use this Nami. This Nami's awesome because she becomes captain, and then her captain ability becomes a 4 point... What is it? A 4 times captain to free spirit and fighter characters. Wait. Yeah, no, you don't want to use her special. Why would you want to use her special, boys? Big shout out to my boys as well, by the way. Like Sim, Tony, they came up with these teams. I've been really busy lately, and like those boys helped me out. I don't know why you'd make them captain. Like you don't want to do that. You don't want to use that Nami as captain. Just don't use that Nami as captain. Just probably replace her, to be honest. But look, shout out to my boys. You do want to use the Helmeppo special instead. Helmeppo is going to give you color affinity, but you can use the Toki color affinity anyway. There is that option for you. And then you've got the conditional boost thanks to the Kuja Pirates. Now, if you guys don't have enough HP with this team, swap the Shark Superb for the Aura Jackson. The Aura Jackson's going to give you more HP buff. Or you could even use something like the Moby Dick and then heal up, stuff like that. Replace the Nami with a healer, maybe. That way, you just get above the 50,000 for the conditional. So that's the free-to-play team. It should work fairly nicely. I don't know if it'll have too many issues. Alright, so if we take a look at the quick variation, the quick variation gets strength, dex, and in-characters cooldowns by 15 turns. We come up against Queen on turn 2, who has 4 turns of resilience, and after turn 1 gives 3 turns of slot seal. Final stage, Jack gives a full immunity, grey shield, defeat immunity, normal attacks only for 99 turns, and then changes all orbs into badly matching. Gives 5 turns of damage threshold. If you use an attack booster, he will super clear your buff. So as you can see, this is why Toki's really, really good. After turn 1, you get Hunger, and after turn 3, he blows away 2 random units. If you get him below 20%, he does nullified damage, and then after level 30, 3 turns of special rewind to your upper and middle row. Now remember, if you're using the Toki ability, you don't have to worry about that. Your captains will avoid any of those effects. Very similar to the first team, where the special bind gets removed on your captain, which is going to be really nice. The special bind on your middle row is not going to matter because the middle row characters, being your Rogue and Mihawk, are actually utilizing their special on stage 2. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't even need to use the Rogue special. He's just here as a hit stick. But Mihawk's great because Mihawk can get around the resilience. The Arena Mihawk removes 5 turns of resilience. He can give a chain lock. He does remove defense up, but he's basically just here, so that way we can actually get around the resilience. He's not going to be getting boosted by Big Mom and Kaido, but that's absolutely fine because he gives a chain lock, we can start the chain there. Big Mom Kaido are our captains, the dual unit. They're absolutely incredible. They actually give an orb boost, which is great, but we're literally only using them on this team because they're a 4.25 times captain to strength, dex, and quick. With the Toki effect on both them and Toki, they're going to get the 3.5 times attack on the final stage, and then we just basically have to look at getting around the threshold. We have a chain lock here with Bardo. You can do these double special activations to remove 4 turns of threshold and get the 2.75 times chain lock. You also have Bonnie, who removes 5 turns of threshold and gives you a full bot recovery orbs, which she makes matching, which is great. So this team's going to have a chain lock, you're going to have the attack boost, you're going to have the orb boost, you are going to be hunky-dory, you are going to do a lot of damage. Just remember, just attack with like any unit, and then hit with your Big Mom Kaido and your Toki once the chain lock is in effect. This team's actually quite like straightforward, and once again, big shout out to my boys for putting this together, because I appreciate you guys. I've just been so flat out lately that I actually really appreciate you guys so much. So that's the DEX team taking on the quick variation, the free to play team. Let's move on to the last free to play team now. Alright, so the last variation is the DEX variation, and Slash's Free Spirit Powerhouse characters get their cooldowns by 15 turns. Page 1 is stage 2. He has 4 turns of attack down, and after turn 1, he blows away your bottom row. Obviously, just take him out on the first turn and you're good. Stage 3, come up against Jack, who is the DEX unit. Full immunity to Feast, Grey Shield, normal attacks only, 9 turns. Pretty much that is a staple across all 3 waves. You get 8 turns of Despair on your top row. Obviously, it's Despair, and he puts up 5 turns of damage reduction. If you boost type effects, though, you will get 4 tap limit, so you don't want to be using type effects. So that's very important, and I might have to look at my whale teams with that. No, I don't, because it's the DEX variation. We're all Gucci. So the idea of that is to use the super type of Toki, and that way you can get the 2 times color affinity to your strength characters that way, which is beautiful. Doesn't trigger interrupts. Gotta love super types and super classes. After turn 1, you get a good special lock. Just kill him on turn 1 and you're fine. After turn 3, he blows away random units, and after level 30, you get 8 turns of blind as your captain. So again, if you use the Toki ability, this is why you want to use it on your captain, so you don't get muddled up and you don't get confused. After turn 5, Jack prepares his trunk to send you, flying. And you think, bah, it can't be that strong of a trunk. And when you end up the sentence, you see yourself flying away Kuma style to whatever island you're destined to land on. Instant death damage, bruh. Pyro Man, you're an absolute god, man. That's just, I love it. I love it so much. Just give me more Pyro Man, honestly. But the free-to-play team looks a little bit like this. Big Mom Kaido, once again, is our captain. Because, they are powerhouse in both their forms. They get cooldowns. Because they're Kaido in the first form, and Big Mom, like, they get their cooldowns in the last one anyway. They're just an awesome captain. 4.25 for a free-play character is just absolutely phenomenal. We have the attack down removal, thanks to the Usopp. He's great. We're going to use him on turn 2 to remove that attack down, which is going to be really nice. We have Marco and Ace is just a hit stick here. Like, literally no reason why Marco Ace is here. You can bring the Rebecca. She's actually boosted once you farm her up from the boxes. That's going to work hunky-dory too. This Oven is a chain locker, so make sure to finish him off. Obviously, I just still need to finish him off as well. I haven't touched the PvP units. And then finally, we have a Kiku. She's going to remove the damage reduction, which is going to work really nicely. Again, you have a chain lock. You have the 3.5 times attack on your captains. I'll probably slap some cotton candy on my Big Mom vs Kaido, or Big Mom and Kaido, and it should work all hunky-dory. Like, these free-to-play teams and this particular KIZUNA is really straightforward because Toki sort of just takes care of everything. Like use the Toki effect on the captains. They're the ones hitting the damage. You just bring a chain locker and you're just going to do unga bunga damage. This should easily get to level 30. You should be able to get past. I did see some numbers. Obviously, the damage calculator is a bit skewed. You will have the color affinity from Toki as well. Just be mindful of that. Because Toki is super effective against all types, you just want to use her color affinity because she's just going to be hitting, or they are just going to be hitting so damn hard. So, they're the free-to-play teams. Let's take a look at the one team beats all that I will be using personally. Looks a little bit like this. So, I actually do have Kinemon. I did manage to pick up Kinemon on my third multi. I did do 3 multis. I'm not claiming the free-to-play tag anymore, so I do apologize when I did state that. I will be taking my own advice moving forward, and that hasn't changed. Doing 3 multis on this banner and calling it a day is definitely not a bad move. But I will be picking up gem sale packs that are very good value. So for myself, I did pick up the big 300 gem packs, and I did pick up the dollar gem packs. Just because they're like 30 cents to the gem. 30 cents to the dollar per gem. So for me, like, that's Japan sale prices, and at the end of the day, that's why I sort of claimed like going free to play, but I will always be buying the subscription packs anyway. So I'm going to change that, and I do apologize. So for those watching this video that thought that, I do apologize, but I will be not being a whale anymore. Does that make sense? That probably makes a bit more sense. I will sort of be like splurging a little bit on the sales. And when I say the sales, it's just those like crazy New Year sales. Like the KIZUNA gem packs that are available at the moment. No, I'm not buying those. Like no, straight up no. But on Japan, yes. So our captain's Ace. Ace is great because he is a free spirit character. Obviously, free spirits, slashes, and strength units are the ones that you sort of want to build for because they're just going to like get their cooldowns across every single stage, and it's going to work really, really nicely. So Ace is great because Ace can be our our chain boundary effect because we use the Toki, but you can also use the Jozu support. Jozu can remove 2 turns of attack down, which is really, really nice, and when you combine him with this Corazon, we can actually get around another 2 turns of attack down. So for the Dex variation, we're covered for stage 2. All good, hunky-dory. This Kinemon is an absolute weapon for this. If you have this Kinemon, slap him on a team because he literally takes care of everything on stage 3. He removes paralysis, which is great for turn 1. He removes the block orbs, which is good for the strength variation as well. He removes damage reduction, which is great for the final, the Dex variation, the Dex variation of Kaido. The paralysis and the block orbs is for the strength variation, sorry. And then the threshold's great for the quick variation. He also does a chain boundary effect, which is great, which means the Tokis are going to be hitting last if you have Toki as your captain, or Ace as your captain, because they're getting the Toki effect. So that's going to work really, really nicely. He's an absolute god. If you did manage to pick him up, use him in here this KIZUNA, because he is honestly one of the best KIZUNA rare recruits going around. He doesn't actually get that much love. He has a really, really good, what's it called? Support. Just smashing Kanjuro if Kanjuro ever gets like a crazy like arena unit or something like that. The next unit we have is Morley. Now, Morley's really, really cool, right? Because Morley can remove resilience. Now, the upside to him removing resilience is there's not a lot of characters that can do that. You can also use the rare recruit lore. That is another option for you guys. You'll see that on the next sort of one team beats all if you are missing Dex lore. But the reason we have Morley is he removes the resilience, and he also sets the defense to like half. And then you can get through the strength variation as well with the conditional boost. I don't imagine that defense up's very high, so Morley is going to be your man, and he's actually going to help out significantly. This lore is only really going to work in the quick variation and the Dex variation, because that's where he gets his cooldowns. And it's just some extra cheeky damage, to be honest. But just make sure to start the chain with him, because he's the one that's going to be like not hitting very hard, as he's not boosted under Ace. This Kinemon needs to make sure that he's in the bottom left. That way he avoids the special bind on the right-hand side. Ace gets around the special reverse now that I'm actually thinking about it. So you don't actually need that support. So we can actually go back to using Roger. I did have the support of the Mr. 3 to get around the special reverse, but Ace actually gets around that. The Kuja Pirates are great because they're going to be our conditional booster. This team should have over 50,000 HP, provided you use something like the Aura Jackson to give yourself... Why can't I click on the Aura Jackson? To give yourself that 1.3 extra HP. Because we are using a full free spirit slasher team, we do get the 1.3 for everyone. Just make sure you have some decent stat boosters like Bullet, Roger, and Snake Man. And this team should work absolutely hunky-dory. Like I said, Kinemon's great. He gets around all of the effects on stage 3. Conditional boost with Kuja. Chain boundary effect with our boy Ace. We do need to be mindful that Ace is going to need a matching orb, which is pretty much going to happen for every single stage except for the... Dex variation, because on the Dex variation, we're not going to be able to get a matching orb thanks to the Kinemon, what's it called? The Kinemon special, but you could use the versatility of Ace if you do manage to sort of stall out for that, so there really is that option for you guys as well. But yeah, this team should work fairly fine. Like, I don't really see too many issues with it, like, per se. From there, we should be pretty hunky-dory. We do have color affinity with Toki as well, so just be mindful of that. Your Ace, your Toki, they're the ones that are going to be hitting very, very hard. If we do need to change anything, we will look at, sort of tweaking it to try and get a matching orb on Ace somehow. But like I said, this team should be fine moving forward. That's the one team that beats off that I'll be using. Let's move on to the big old damage teams now. Alright, so we're moving on to the big damage teams, and we're going to talk about strength first. If you guys need a little bit of a rehash, this is what it does. We need to get around defense up on stage 2. We need to get around paralysis and block orbs on stage 3. And then after level 30, our right-hand side gets special binded. So, the big Unga Bunga damage is led by the big Unga Bunga man himself. Shout out to my boy Jin, the most overrated legend in the game. Last Tap Luffy. Last Tap Luffy obviously is a very good quick captain. He's a free spirit unit as well. He can give himself the base stat if you do eat recovery orbs at all. But look, if we get that, awesome. If not, sweet as. We're probably not even going to use his special anyway. Ace Sabo, they completely remove special blind on themselves. But they're basically here to remove the block orbs, as well as give us color affinity with their switch ability. You can get the super switch, but in the early stages, the 1.5 is going to be absolutely plenty. Usohachi triggers the super typing for Luffy, which is nice. He can also remove the defense up on stage 2, which is excellent. That super typing of Luffy is not only going to give quick units more damage, but it's also going to allow us to get the chain boundary effect, like the chain buff, sorry. If you want to, in the early stages, just use the Toki Super Type. That's going to be better than a Sabo, but look, it is what it is. We've got the Kuja Pirates here for a conditional boost. They're going to be really, really nice. And then finally, we have Sugar. She's great, because that way we don't have to worry about the paralysis. Awesome sauce. And we can start doing those chain boundary shenanigans. Luffy does take priority with the final tap, which is awesome. So Luffy's going to hit last. Even though Toki will do more damage, this is just another way around it. So this should be like a big Unga Bunga damage. I can't really see this team having any issues, like, till very later on. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys have a bigger damage team, because, like, I would love to know. Alright, so moving on to the quick Unga Bunga damage team. Now, if you need a rehash, strength, dex, and in characters get 15 turns of cooldown. On stage 2, Queen has 4 turns of resilience, and on stage 3, you need to make sure you get around badly matching orbs, 5 turns of threshold, and your middle row and bottom row will get special rewinded, so just be mindful of that. So, the team I put together utilizes Law as captain. Law's great, because he's not only a Dex captain, but he boosts Cerebral and Slashes as well, so that way he will boost Toki, which is awesome, because Toki is a slasher. Bring a friend Toki, you will be in good stead. The reason we want to use Law is because we can actually get the extra damage taken debuff, the 1.5 extra damage, which is just going to buff that output a little bit. We have Sasuke here. Sasuke can remove the resilience on stage 2, which is really nice. He's going to give us some matching orbs as well, which is awesome. With Law, we can use the support of, what's his name? Sengoku to give ourselves a chain buff as well. And then we can actually use the Bonnie special after it to remove the threshold, as well as give us a full bottle recovery orbs to get around the badly matching orbs. And that way we can just have a full bottle recovery orbs, which Bonnie actually makes matching for the entire crew, which is really, really nice. This free-to-play Bonnie's awesome. If you don't have her, make sure to farm her up. She's a phenomenal free-to-play character. If you guys have the Kinemon, though, you can easily slide the Kinemon on this team over the Bonnie, and that way, if you don't have the Sengoku support, you will get a chain buff as well, the chain boundary. Otherwise, you could definitely use the chain boundary of what's his name, of Jinbei. This Jinbei, like, that's going to give you a little bit extra damage on Bonnie. So it's not huge, but at least it's something. Because our captain is Cerebral, we can get a chain boundary effect thanks to the Raid Crocodile, another really good free-to-play character. You just need to make sure that you use his special on turn 2, because that way you get the 3 turns of the chain lock, and it's not going to get blown away when you enter the stage. It doesn't rotate, like, unfavorable orbs, unfortunately. Otherwise, he'd be great for the final stage. So, ideally, just use him on stage 2 to get a little bit more damage as well. Remember to use the Toki ability. Always use that on turn 2. And always use it on your captains. Always use it on your captains. Finally, we got Halloween Shanks on the team. Fuck Stump, right? But Halloween Shanks is just here because he's a cerebral slasher. Color affinity booster. He's a 2x color affinity booster. So that way he not only boosts Toki, but he also boosts Law. And it just means you're going to get a little bit more damage because, like, you have the Toki effect on not only Toki, but you have it on Law. So that's the big Unga Bunga damage team that I've put together. Like I said, let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any ideas. If you have any replacements, and then obviously just put stat boosters on the rest of the supports, right? Alright, so moving on to the final Unga Bunga damage team against the DEX Variation. Need a little rehash. You come up against page 1 on stage 2, but your Slash's Free Spirit Powerhouse get 15 turns of cooldown. You get 4 turns of attack down against page 1. Against Jack, you need to get around Despair and Damage Reduction. You really need to get around Damage Reduction because you bring your friend Toki. And then after level 30, there's Bind. Again, Toki's going to take care of that. The DEX Variation is so easy, purely if you bring a friend Toki. Like, it's so nice. So, my Unga Bunga damage team is actually led by the Sweet Generals. Who would have thought? Like, who would have thought? Giving Sweet Generals some love. But the beautiful thing about Sweet Generals is they're not only powerhouse, but they're actually slasher, which is excellent. upside to using this character, the main reason we're using them, is they do give color affinity. But so does the Toki super type anyway. But they give a 1.1 chain boost, which is excellent. As a captain, they can be a 5 times captain as long as you kill something in the previous turn. Of course, we're killing something on stage 2, which is really, really nice. On stage 2, we do need to make sure that we get around attack down. And that's where the Marco comes into play. This Marco is great because he can remove attack down by 5 turns. If you have a bunch of strength characters, you get a chain buff as well. And remember, make sure you use the Toki ability on your captains on stage 2 as well. On the final stage, we will have a strength orb on our captain thanks to the special of Verse Shanks. We're going to get a base stat boost as well. 1000 base stat boost to our free slasher characters, which will both include Toki and the Sweet Generals, which is really, really nice. Because they'll have a strength orb, we can use the A special to get the chain boundary effect. That way we're starting at a 3.6 chain buff. Really, really nice. We'll have color affinity. We'll have an attack boost. We'll have an orb boost. And we'll also have that chain boundary as well. We'll also have conditional. We'll have color affinity. And we'll have a Shuridoji just for more damage. It's not essential. It's just more damage. So it should work really, really nicely. That's my big Unga Bunga damage team against the DEX variation. Should be good times. Should be good times. But I do have one more. One team beats all. And big shout out to my boy Sim City. The man, the myth, the legend himself for the inspiration for this team. Alright, so the one team beats all looks a little bit like this. Now, shout out to Sim. He did put this team together, but he does have Toki. So you can use Toki and just replace the Kuja Pirates and bring Toki as your captain. And then if you have Kinemon, you can easily just put Kinemon on this team as well. But the way that this team functions, it functions without Toki and without Kinemon. We have Ace as our captain because our full team is Free Spirit. Obviously, Toki is Free Spirit as well. So we do get the 5 times captain. We can get around special reverse as well, which is really, really nice. We have a conditional boost with the Kuja Pirates. We are going to be using them on turn 2 for the, what's it called stage? The strength variation to remove the defense up. But if the defense up's not that high, we can get around it by just using the chopper tap timing. It's just going to sort of depend how big that defense up. If you can get around it without using the Kuja Pirate special, you will be fine. But remember, on stage 2, always, always, always use the Toki special. And remember, always use it on your... Yes, your captains. Always use it on your captains. You're learning. We're learning. But this chopper's here basically because he can remove Threshold. That's the big upside to using this chopper. He can actually also use the Brûlé support to get around all of the block orbs on the strength variation. But if you really want to, you can sort of stall out for a Verse Ace's versatility and get around it that way. Verse Ace is great because we have Jozu to remove 2 turns of attack down. And then with the Pedro support on our KIZUNA Brook, we can get around the other 2 turns of attack down as well, which is really, really nice. He's a free-to-play character from the Whole Cake Island event. Hopefully you guys have him. But hopefully you have this Brook as well. This Brook is awesome. It's really, really good for this fight because he not only gives a chain boundary or chain buff by 0.8 and use the Pedro support, but he can also remove 5 turns of damage reduction, which is really, really nice. He is a KIZUNA rare recruit, however, so hopefully you've picked him up. He's very old though, he came out ages ago, Nightmare Luffy, the co-op KIZUNA clash with Nightmare Luffy, that's when that guy came out. Finally, we have this Law. He's the other option instead of Morley, if you guys haven't farmed up Morley for whatever reason. He can remove Paralysis, which is excelente, and he can also remove the Resilience, which is great for the second variation, the quick variation, to get around the Resilience there. But he removes the Paralysis on the strength variation, and then otherwise he can get around the Resilience there. So, team works really, really nice. Again, if you have Toki, bring Toki as your captain, and then just bring Kinemon. Kinemon will basically replace the Law. Well, not the Law. It replaced the Brook completely. And then you just want to replace the Chopper with an attack down remover, basically, and you will be fine from there. Excuse me. So, yeah. That's going to wrap up the video today, guys. That's going to wrap up KIZUNA. Once again, big shout out to Pyroman. Big shout out to the Frankie House for the infograph. Looks absolutely amazing, guys. And I love the quirkiness. So, just keep doing you, man. Honestly, because it's absolutely phenomenal. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later!